Hello, grade 6. Welcome to Lesson 5, Qatar Community Culture. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to first learn about the cultural elements of the Qatari community. Second is learn about the cultural institutions in the Qatari community. And last, connect the Qatari community's culture and its impact on national identity. Now, the concepts we will learn at the end of the lesson would be the concept of culture, what is it, and also what are the different cultural elements that we can find in the community of Qatar. And the values we will learn at the end of the lesson would be pride of our Arabic and Islamic identity. So let's begin with Qatar History Book, page 48. So I urge you to go to this page so we can discuss about Qatar community culture. So first, let's take note of the images above and try to deduce or think about a cultural concept from them. So let's have a look at the first picture. In here, there are men holding different types of musical instruments and they seem to be enjoying themselves. Okay, what do you think are they doing? So if your answer is that they are demonstrating folk music and also they're doing communal celebration with singing and dancing, then you are correct. Now let's go to the second picture. Here you have a teacher and students studying a specific type of language. So what do you think is the language that they are studying? If you think it's Arabic language, then you are correct. Okay, the Arabic language is part of the Qatari community culture and also is the official language of the Holy Quran. Now let's go to the last picture. We have people gathering in one place. So what do you think are these people doing? So if your answer is that they are doing communal prayers or community prayers, then you are correct. So this is a traditional practice in the Islamic faith. So now, folk music, the Arabic language, and the Islamic religion are all manifestations of Qatar community culture. So they make up the culture of the community, and they are important components. So now that we know about Qatar community culture, let's define the concept of culture as a whole. So when we say culture, we mean a wide range of activities that are typical of a community, like customs, traditions, values, religion, morals, and behaviors. So we will be explaining each and every one of these components as we go to each slide. Let's go to think and discuss at the bottom of page 48. First, given the preceding definition or meaning of culture, where does a person get or obtain his culture? What do you think is the answer? Okay, so if you think that the answer is a person obtains his culture from his native country, then you are correct. So part of culture would be a person's language, religion, practices, values, and morals. Now let's go to our second question. Can you identify the cultural elements or components of Qatari community? And if so, what are these? So the answer to that would be the cultural elements of the Qatari community are Arabic language, Islamic religion, values, customs, traditions, and heritage. So we will be explaining each and every one of these elements, and now you have to pause this video so you can write the answers down in your book on page 48. So let's proceed to a short activity. How does each of the following photos reflect Qatar community culture? You can pause this video now so you can have a better look at each photo and make conclusions on which cultural elements are reflected in each of them. So let's begin with the first picture. Here you have men gathered at the beach and they are surrounded by traditional Qatari boats called dos. And we can conclude, looking at the picture, that they are still practicing the ancient trade of fishing, fish drying, and pearl diving. Now, the second picture shows us men gathered in a place and they are holding their traditional musical instruments. So from this, we can conclude that they are practicing their traditional folk music and they're singing and dancing in a communal gathering. The third picture shows us a teapot, a cup, and some food. So what do you think is the cultural element represented by this picture? So if your answer is Arabic hospitality, then you are correct. So Arabic hospitality is all about showing that you care about your guests and that you open your homes to them and you accept them in your houses. Now let's go to the last photo. So here we have a picture of people gathered at the Corniche and there's a parade going on. So what do you think is happening in this picture? So yes, this is a celebration of the Qatar National Day, which of course makes us remember the founding of the state of Qatar. Now let's proceed to Qatar History Book, page 49, and we'll discuss about the cultural elements of the Qatari community. So based on the previous slides, we can now conclude that the cultural elements of the Qatari community would include the Islamic religion first, second is the Arabic language, third would be values, customs, and traditions, and last would be heritage and art. So let's discuss about each and every one of these cultural elements. So first, we go to Islamic religion. So the Islamic religion is the official religion of the state of Qatar, meaning it was dictated in the law and the constitution that the religion of the country would be Islam. And all customs and traditions are judged by their compatibility with it. What it means is that all of the things that we do in this country should be aligned with the Islamic religion and not opposed to it. Now let's go to Arabic language. So we all know that the Arabic language is the language of the Holy Quran, and it is important or essential in the Qatari community's national identity. So when you say national identity, it makes up who you are. So part of who you are is that you are a speaker of the Arabic language. Okay, you are a Quran reader. So it has been designated as an official language in all government institutions and departments. That's why if you go visit government institutions like the different ministries that we have in the country, the official language that they're using for communication would be Arabic. So now let's go to values, customs, and traditions. So values would refer to good behavior and morals. Okay, so these are the principles that we believe in, which are of course aligned with the Islamic religion. Customs and traditions would be our practices, the things that we do, the food we eat, and the clothes we wear, as well as the concepts that we believe in. So all of these are the result of the process of communication between all Qataris and their various cultures. So the Qatari culture, of course, was already influenced by different cultures from the neighboring Gulf countries. Okay, so all of these make up the values, customs, and traditions of the nation. Last, we go to heritage and arts. So heritage and arts are important parts of a community's culture. So when we say heritage, it's everything that the society inherited, okay, from forefathers and ancestors. These are the things that our grandfathers and great-grandfathers handed over to us, okay, which can range from folk music to folklore and traditional stories. So we have different kinds of heritage. We have material and non-material or moral manifestations of heritage. When we say material, okay, these are traditional clothing, food, okay, the things that are tangible, that we are still practicing today, okay, or that we are still using up to this date. And when we say moral manifestations, we mean the different beliefs that we have, okay, the principles, concepts, which we also have inherited from our forefathers. And it constitutes the community's identity, okay? So what makes up the community is its heritage and also its history, right? And an example of heritage would be folklore. When we say folklore, these are traditional stories that reflect the history of a country. And it's an expression of a community's spirit. Now let's go to our discussion of Qatar national identity. So part of culture is literature and arts. So we know literature to be the writings, okay, passed down from one generation to another. So we talk about short stories, novels, poetry, and even oral literature, okay? So spoken literature, we mean. Qatari literature dates back to the 19th century with poets such as Abdul Jalil al-Tabatabai, and Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Uthaymin. So these are our traditional historical poets. The modern literature movement in Qatar began in the 1950s, along the time when they have discovered oil. And it was during the same time as the modern arts movement. So until now, as you can see in this photo, there are still conventions being held in Qatar wherein we practice literature and arts, and we share short stories and poems with people from different cultures. So that's it for Lesson 5 Qatar Community Culture. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.